Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Everybody's on.
So we could have the Waterline, unless the governor ever said we could. In these certain cases, we can. Privacy is non-government business, make sure you apply their flags and tax code and honor more local leaders. The flag code does not exclude any citizen whether belong to an organization or not. We are recognized very locally and regionally. Examples of C citizens who might be honored because be born the flag to have staff include local religious leaders, youth leaders, honor teachers, sports coaches, local politicians, or local leaders. There with those are local.
We have the city flag lowering.
State flag. And we have a right to do that. That's all.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Facility. Schoolhouse. I just couldn't make it because they look like dogs. They do play like a bunch of dogs. Waste of time. I bet the golf game be good this week. Ready to go. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone here tonight to our, this is going to be our April the 9th meeting. We're moving along, time's flying by. And also I want to welcome back tonight our former loyal council member and Mayor Pro Tem Thomas Gillespie to lead us in prayer tonight for invocation. If you would, Tommy, step to the podium. Everyone stand up, please. Thank you.
Let us bow our heads in a word of prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank Thee for this day. We thank You for Your Son Jesus who died on Calvary's cross that we might have a right to the tree of life. Now, Father, we invite Your presence in this council chambers. We ask You to bless our mayor, Bless our council members. Bless our city manager. Bless our city attorney. Bless our police chief. Bless the staff of Lowell and all these who serve our citizens. Let us know, God, that this is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And Father God, as we take our seat, we want to thank you for the 4 precious freedoms that you have given all Americans. That is the freedom of speech, the freedom to worship, the freedom from want, and freedom from fear. Bless us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone be seated. Thank you. Thanks again for coming out. Let's get the meeting going now. All right, we have scheduled tonight the public comments. Anyone like to speak? Just step up to the podium, give us your name. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Thomas. Thank you very much. My name is Thomas Lesmans. I live at 721 Overlook Road. I've enjoyed the town of Lowell for coming up 5 years. But I do have a little bit of a small story to tell. On several occasions, the first one on 1/28/24, I did spend 90 minutes with a sign across the street here at the police department and over here, supporting a cause to what I believed in. I did 90 minutes on that day after work. My second day, or my second attempt to do it, was on 2/24. I did another 90 minutes with the same sign, back and forth for an hour and a half. To the train station, up over to the fire department, over across the street. I can't tell you how many miles I put on the boots. We did it, like I said, for an hour and a half. And again, we did it on 2/13/24. We did it for 90 minutes then. The last time I did it was on 2/13, because on that day, just as I was coming in to express what I believe was some issues that I had had, I was arrested at the step of the town hall coming in for a city ordinance. But prior to that, it did raise some red flags, because I have a total of 6 hours out holding a sign and countless miles. And it was never an issue while I was just outside holding a sign. But my cause of concern comes from why was this an issue as I was coming in to the town hall city meeting to express issues that I had had. And that's where a lot of my concerns have coming from. And just as the preacher talked about just after his blessing for the meeting, he talked about the rights that were given to us. And one of them was the freedom of speech. And from the way I understand it, that was a freedom of speech. The freedom of speech is the right of a person to articulate opinions and ideas without interference or retaliation from the government. The term speech constitutes expressions that include far from just the words, but also what a person wears, reads, performs, protests, and more. In the United States, freedom of speech is strongly protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution, as well as many other states and federal laws. The United States gives the freedom of speech and protects our strong, for the First Amendment protects everyone in the cause. North Carolina ordinance cannot supersede your First Amendment rights, and the First Amendment rights and part of the constitutional right. It applies throughout the country, including North Carolina. That means city ordinance cannot restrict your freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, or petition of the government. However, there are the limitations of the First Amendment right. For example, they have the right to restrict speech that might incite violence or emulate lawless actions. What's holding a 3x3 sign that's just expressing what I feel was done wrong, to me, I don't believe was a lawless action or incite violence, when I was just trying to get my experience across. So like I said, that's pretty much it. That was just my little bit of a story, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments tonight? Any other citizen? Go ahead. Just state your name, please, and address at the podium.
My name is Diana Leskins. I am here on my brother's behalf on 114, 214, 114. He was falsely arrested, put in handcuffs, and dropped off at the Gaston County Police Station with no charges, no warrants, no paperwork, no nothing. Now, I'd like to give you the definition of false imprisonment. Depriving someone of a freedom, movement by holding a person in a confined space or by physical restraint, including being locked in a car, driven about without opportunity to get out, being tied to a chair, locked in a closet. It may be the follow-up to a false arrest, but more often it resembles a kidnapping with no belief or claim of a legal right to hold said person. Therefore, false imprisonment is often a crime, and if proved, in almost always the basis of a lawsuit for damages, mentally or physically. And on that day, that's what happened. Now I ask you all, why does the police officer still have a job and not charged? Because any of these other citizens did this, they would be charged today. Have a good day.
Thank you. I think this has already been addressed to the city manager, hasn't it?
Yes.
It's got an ongoing investigation, I guess. Is that what it is? It's already been settled over there. Where are we at, Scott, with the, what's going on with this? What's going on as far as, I'm sure that Mr. Bates and all of you met, anything come about or what?
Nothing to discuss about personnel.
They have a public, that's good. They have a public, they're asking a question in public. And I think maybe you could write them a letter or something to, to where they'll be at peace. We need to resolve it either way, because it don't need to just keep going on month after month after month. And maybe you can handle it, I hope so.
All that correspondence has been forwarded to you and all the council.
I'm talking about to them, but they're the ones that.
They've received it as well.
Have y'all received anything?
Yes, would you like us to read it?
I can't right now because you already spoke, but maybe next meeting night you can.
Yes, sir, I've got the corresponding letter, and next month I could come back at the
That's
next.
fine, but you've already spoken tonight, I'm sorry. But anyway, it's good to know that that's what we want. We want people to understand this. Freedom of speech is right, and nothing's wrong with freedom of speech. But how we conduct ourselves, sometimes things go awry. But I don't know the situation because I wasn't there. But we're not a court of law. We're only the mayor and council and city manager. But people with the powers that be, they need to take care of things like this, because you as a citizen need to hear an answer, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. It doesn't matter. Just answer the question. That's all. People, it might not be the answer you want, but at least give you an answer.
You shook his hand 3 minutes before you walked in that meeting.
Do what?
You shook his hand 3 minutes.
I shake hands with everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to let you know.
That's all right. But anyway, does anyone else have any more comments tonight for the citizens to speak? And thank everyone for being here tonight, and you're always welcome to speak, all of you. The next item on the agenda is going to be the adoption of the agenda for this meeting tonight. We have a motion to adopt the agenda. Or do you have any changes in the agenda? Any changes, Scott?
We had updated 6G, and that was sent out to you all, and it's in front of you as well.
So you're adding this, you want to add this to the agenda?
Add 6G.
6G, and that's entailing what about the water? Or what is it?
No, that's about the salary grade for planner position.
6G? Okay. So it'll be after 4G. Any other changes?
That's it.
Okay. Have a motion to adopt the agenda with this change?
Motion to adopt with the change to 6G.
Have a- Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. And also, I want to let you know, Shane's not going to be here tonight. I apologize, but he did call me last night and say he wasn't going to be here. May let you know early. I don't know. He's not going to be here. But okay, let's go with the next thing on the agenda then. All right, we need to approve the minutes, February the 28th, Lowell City Council special meeting. Any changes or any reactions to that?
Before we approve it, on page 9, about towards the bottom, it said that the town of Laurel owned was the property beside the Presbyterian church. I believe that it should be the Methodist church. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's correct, but if it was said as Presbyterian in the meeting, that's why it
Is
was recorded that
So it
way.
was said Presbyterian?
So you can just change it to Methodist.
Okay.
You can change that, I guess, or we need a motion to change it, or?
Well, if it's,
Well, if it was said in the meeting itself, then that's what was said. So-
I understand.
So it should have read, or it should have been the Methodist church.
Right.
All right.
Any other changes, any other questions about the meeting on February 28th?
motion to approve minutes?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you, unanimous. Okay, we have minutes to be approved on March the 12th, 2024.
He made the motion, I second it.
Okay. Approval of the minutes on 3/12/2024. Any questions or have a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes for,
We just approved,
I'm sorry?
we just approved the minutes.
Not
No,
for that one, it's two
February
different.
28th.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is March the 12th.
For March, approve the motion to approve the minutes for March 12th.
You have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you, unanimous. All right, and the next item on the agenda is going to be the consent agenda, finance report, communications report, planning report, public works report, geographic information system, police report, stormwater. Need a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Can I ask a question before we adopt it?
Yes.
Dealing with the police report,
Yes, sir.
I know I guess it's a personnel matter, but I would like to find out, I read on here that said the administration staff wanted to discuss a recent dip in staff morale that had been brought to their attention. I was just wondering what the morale dip was. In the report, the administration staff wanted to discuss a recent dip in the staff. The assistant chief called a meeting, and the administration staff wanted to discuss a recent dip in staff morale. What was the morale dip?
It was brought to our attention that,
I mean, if it's a personnel matter, we can bring that up at a later date.
we can.
So it's a personnel matter, all right.
You can speak generally to answer Councilman Chitwood's questions if you can do that generally, but we don't want to go into anything specific as to individual officers.
We had some complaints about the officers was not performing their duties or was not patrolling different areas. We had a meeting to discuss that.
Okay. My next question is, I noticed the big jump in special checks. What is a special check? I know what my definition of a special check would be, but what is y'all's?
That is a patrolling certain neighborhoods, certain streets. We had in our community watch meetings before we was going to start specifying zones, such neighborhoods as zone. And when we get the complaints that the officers are not patrolling this neighborhood, we can bring back the proof that yes, they are.
So,
But now, with our new system, we're going to be able to specify, a special check like you going on vacation, or a special check
that's
like
what a special check
business.
to me means.
Yeah.
Now, patrolling a neighborhood, Forest View, or Riverview, or Preston Place, so you're calling out.
We are now, yes.
So isn't that part of the police officer's job to patrol? I mean, really,
It
shouldn't be a
is.
special check? That should be part of patrol. I know what you're trying to do is get the number, show the number that you're patrolling,
Show that
but
you're
there should be
patrolling
a
that
different
certain
way that we should be able to do that.
That's what we're trying to do with the new RMS system. We're going to try to specify whether
Because, I mean, even though I'm not in a neighborhood, I live on Ash Street, that's still a neighborhood because it's a house. like Mr. Gillespie and Mr. Norris. I know Norris lives in River View. I understand that. But me and Mr. Gillespie, we live on Main Street, Ash Street. That should be, I consider that's part of the patrol. That's where I was kind of wondering. I see the numbers jump up on special check. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, I have a question while you're up there. How many people showed up to the last zone meeting?
That would be me
Two
and
police
Mr.
officers and 2 council members.
How many people showed up to the Robeson Boulevard meeting?
3 police officers and 9 citizens.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Mr. Chitwood?
No, I'm good.
Any questions from the council? Okay, I guess we're just going to need a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Go ahead. Make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
All 4A through 4G.
All in favor? Thank you. All right. We got number 5, unfinished business, public hearing, text amendment ZTA 24-01, R17, the sign regulations. I thought we'd taken care of that last month, didn't we?
We set public hearing, sir, for this month.
So we need a motion to go into public hearing now? Need a motion to go into public hearing?
Make a motion, we go into public hearing.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, we're in public hearing. So if anyone has a comment about what they're speaking about, you have an opportunity to speak. But go ahead, Mr. Cobb. And thank you for being here, young man.
Yep, thank you. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Just want to go back over kind of what was discussed prior to this meeting. So on February 8th, City Council meeting, staff expressed that they would like to revise the sign regulation. On March 5th, staff took this recommendation to the Planning Board, who voted unanimously to approve the text amendment to multiple sections of Article 17. Staff then took the recommendation to City Council on March 12th and requested a public hearing, which would be scheduled for today, April 9th at 6 o'clock. And the following changes have been made for this article. So we have removed the section of only allowing 1 sign per building, per street, or parking frontage. We have added at the bottom buildings located in the mixed use section, so that part was not in there. We also have removed the section for 100 square feet, not to exceed 100 square feet. We have, let me go back. Let's see. So we also changed the acreage in the commercial, institutional, industrial, mixed use from 3 acres to 2 or more acres in an area. We added signs that may be placed or modified as long as it does not increase the existing to the non-conformity. And this all goes along with staff's recommendation to approve ordinance 1-2024. So we need, if anybody has any questions, we'll be glad to answer that. Yes, sir.
What about holding a sign?
Sorry,
This is a public hearing, but let him get finished, and then we'll open it up for the citizens to speak after he gets through. He's doing a presentation right now.
Yeah,
and once
so
he gets through, we'll get
Yes,
back.
yes. So staff is recommending the approval of the ordinance 1-2024, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have on this.
And Tyler, on that, the one you said 100 square, is it 100 square feet, 100 square foot for a sign? What's the total acreage on that particular sign, or for the facility, the business, to be able to have a 100 square foot sign?
So we're doing it now, but we're doing it now just 10% of the overall of the building. We had it not to exceed 100 square feet.
So 10% of the actual building facade or the land space?
The building.
The building wall.
The building wall. The building wall area.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? No. Okay. Do we have any questions from the citizens?
No.
I have right now, it's a public hearing. Go ahead.
No. Any? I do not have the answer to
This is
that.
not what he's talking about, ordinances to
signs
govern.
that
The sign,
Like a
the sign-
business property or something like that. That's okay. But here's the thing about it, we're trying to get this new sign ordinance passed, but if you have a question about the sign ordinance itself, not about holding the sign, but for business sign.
Oh, a business sign.
Business sign is what we're talking about, yes. All right, do you have any citizens have any questions, or any of the council members have any questions? There being none, we need a motion to go out of the public hearing. We need a motion to go out of the public hearing.
Motion to go out of public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. You want us to vote on tonight, or you want us to study, or you want this to be studied, or vote on tonight?
It's for approval tonight.
It's for approval tonight.
All right, good. We have a motion to approve.
Mayor, if I will, in the motion, if there isn't a motion to approve, that you'll have to have a statement of consistency and reasonableness included in that, that it's consistent with the City of Lowell's comprehensive land use plan.
And it is, because if this is what we're approving, this is.
In the statement by statute, it needs to be
But
written.
nothing's really changing other than the fact that the amount of square footage, the facade, and the building, and also the signage, that's what we're voting on, right? And this is the big.
Do that.
Right, you're doing that, and then you're, I think, consistent with the land use plan.
This is
It's
a new
making-
sign ordinance, correct?
Correct. and
Right,
then-
for this
Well,
particular-
no, it's an amended, you're amending the sign
So
ordinance.
we're
in-
changing it to a new resolution, correct? If it passes tonight.
Well, it's a resolution that amends the existing sign.
Yes, sir, to allow these changes that we're speaking
Correct.
about.
Correct. And then what Scott's saying is you also need in the motion that it's consistent with the land use plan, it's reasonable because it allows kind of additional signage on buildings without coming to city council.
So we need a motion to encompass all this. Who would like to entertain that motion John was speaking about? And I guess you'll have to word it that way, rather than just saying we're amending the present sign ordinance to be able to do what we're voting on tonight, which is to have the 100 square foot sign and the other signage in the, what the size is in this new ordinance, or amended ordinance, will be what we're voting on, right?
And then on page 39 of the agenda, that you have information about the statements.
Which
of
council member would like to make a
consistency.
motion that we adopt page 39? I guess that'd be the easiest way, to encompass all this stuff. Statements of consistency and reasonableness prior to adopting or rejecting any amendment, the city council shall approve a statement in accordance with GS 160D-605, describing whether or not the proposed amendment is consistent with the City of Lowell Comprehensive Land Use Plan, adopted April 13th. This is what we're changing. Subsequent amendments adopted by the City Council of the City of Lowell and other applicable adopted plans, when either adopting or rejecting a zoning map amendment, the Lowell City Council shall approve a statement analyzing the reasonableness of the proposed amendment in accordance with GS 160D-605. The statement of reasonableness may consider among the factors the size, which we're talking about, and other attributes to the area, rezone. Number 2, the benefits and determinants to the landowners, the neighbors, and the surrounding community, the relationship between the current actual permissible development on the tract and adjoining area, and development that would be permissible under the proposed amendment that we're just about to approve. I hope while the action taken is in the public interest and any change conditions warranting the amendment, such statements may be combined to a single statement, and the new ordinance, I guess, is going to be GS 160D-605C, and incorporated into ordinance amended either the text or an ordinance established. Lowell Development Ordinance Article 5, page 7, under authority GS 160D, or the official zoning map established under authority of GS 160D-105, reflecting the division of territorial jurisdiction established under authority of GS 160D-703. Do we have a motion to do that?
Motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
What do we need?
You also, you're making a motion to approve the amendments to the Lowell Development Ordinance with respect to signs, and then you're adding with respect to consistency, it's consistent with the comprehensive land use plan, and it's reasonable in terms of promoting orderly growth of the city and businesses located therein.
So I have to regurgitate everything he just said.
You can adopt that.
That's exactly what he's talking about. He just wants to put the lawyer's twist to it. That's exactly what you're voting on. What he's asking you to do is amend the text to allow this to happen. You have a motion and a second. You want to go against? You want to make a motion to go against yourself?
We just need a motion to approve what you just said, John. Motion to approve what John
That's
just
not a
described.
motion. You have to make the motion in your own words. We're gonna do this thing right. what's the correct, I gave you the correct motion, but it's okay. I'll
Obviously
give it to you,
not.
Yes, I did. I read it to you.
He read it. Give me
But you
the
gotta put it in
language
your
that
own
needs to
words
be-
what he's speaking about. It has to be, if this is a motion, not made by you, John, you're an attorney, but the councilman has to make any councilman has to make the motion to encompass what you're saying.
John, can you
In their
explain
own
what we need
words.
to say in the motion, please?
So what you were reading is just the legal requirement that
Yes.
you have to make not only a motion, but say something that it's consistent and it's reasonable.
160D.
160D is what tells you have to have
Yes,
consistency.
that's the consistency he spoke about is what we're trying to approve.
Correct.
Not, I like your twist to it, but I mean, it's just,
It's not a
They wanna
twist. What
save
language
time.
do we need to put into a motion?
Yours.
Please, is what I'm asking.
You need to make a motion to approve, and you need to say one sentence that it's consistent with your comprehensive land use plan and that the amendment is reasonable.
go ahead and say that. Be a correct motion. He needs to say it.
In system comprehensive land use plan and what?
And that it's reasonable, and you
That
can.
it's reasonable,
And you can come
okay.
up with anything. The suggestion that I
All right.
said is that it allows businesses to advertise their services, and it promotes orderly growth within the city. But that was my suggestion. You could come up with
I understand,
whatever.
we just want to get the motion passed, but it has to be in any councilman's own words as far as what it will be. We're making an amendment to what we
All
already
right,
have.
I'll tell you what, I don't, motion to approve, because it's consistent with comprehensive land use plan and is reasonable, with the city of Lowell.
I think so. It has to be not reasonable, it has to be the law, correct? The law would not be reasonable, it would be the law.
I think it was a period after that, we don't need any other discussion, so.
What do you mean,
Do we have a
discussion?
second?
We have discussion because we got to get the motion correct.
Motion
Second.
correct.
All right, read the motion, please.
We already did that.
I said, read the motion. Now, we need the clerk to read the motion for the public and for me.
Yeah, I don't think, we got a motion and a
This is
second.
an open meeting, and I'm requesting that we have this motion read. There's nothing wrong with that. The attorney can explain that to you.
I think you've been asked to the extent that you can, read the motion. that's-
Please, yes.
I don't have the motion written down, but it would be just by memory of, who made a motion
The clerk goes off of the recording for minute generation, so she's not writing down.
I'm asking the
Why
clerk to
don't
read
you
the motion.
reread the motion?
That's
What
why
is
I'm asking
what is
for.
the
I wanna hear the
objection?
motion. I
What
don't
is
have no
the,
objection. I want to hear the motion as you stated, so I can understand what we're voting on. What this board is voting on. What's the motion?
We all understand what we're voting on, Larry. This is like, we're on the second month of going through this.
We're sitting here with the attorney adding his twist to what the motion is, and we're having this public hearing tonight. Close the public hearing to adopt this motion. Not what someone says, not what someone puts in your words, but each council member, whoever it is, has to state the motion.
Again, there's a motion and a second. We're just waiting on you.
I don't understand the motion. Do y'all understand the motion? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, all in favor? It passes whatever the motion was. Maybe we can get it cleared out by the next time we have our meeting.
you just read off what it was supposed to be.
You don't
You're
understand, I don't
objecting
think
to
you
it.
understood what you made the motion for. But anyway,
Sure I do.
so the next thing on the agenda, I guess, do we need to bring up what you want to add to the agenda that, it's just encompassed in the consent?
That'll be at the end,
It was
sir.
at the
Okay.
end, it was already
That's
brought up
right,
at the
that's
beginning.
right. New business, request for public hearing, Spencer Ridge subdivision, development agrees, that'll be on our page 44 to 92. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. Tyler's going to cover this. Go ahead, Tyler.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so tonight I'm going to request a public hearing for the Spencer Ridge subdivision development agreement. So on your desk, you should have the most up-to-date agreement that we have. If you want to take a moment to look that over.
Yes.
Tonight you're just needing a,
We're just going to set the public
Set the
hearing.
public
Yep,
hearing.
That's right. And the public hearing's request would be for May 14th, 2024 at 6 o'clock.
So they've already applied and paid their due diligence to have this public hearing. So we need a motion to set a public hearing, whatever date you
Make a
folks
motion to
like.
set a public hearing on May the 14th at 6 PM for the Spencer Ridge subdivision development agreement.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Okay. The next item, I guess, is going to be a request to set public hearing map amendment to the general rezoning on Grove Street. You have that as well, Tyler?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so staff received a rezoning request for the property at 603 Grove Street, parcel ID 302742, which is known as the Choice USA Beverage. The property currently consists of 2 zoning districts. The front of the property is industrial, and the rear of the property is mixed use 2. The applicant is requesting that the mixed use 2 be rezoned to industrial so they can expand their business.
Tyler, could you flip to the map?
Sorry.
So the hatched area is what the subject property as zone mixed use 2.
Yes, so this is the Choice USA Beverage. That's their entire site right here. The front half is industrial. This back half right here is mixed use 2. And they're looking to make the entire property industrial so they can expand their business.
And it only affects that crosshatch area.
Yes, correct. So it's rough, so that, the half that they're, the part that they're looking to rezone is about 5 acres.
Is that where they've already cleared off and?
Yes, sir.
How close would that be to the other property owners?
So I don't have the exact, I can get that for, I don't have the exact number, how far it will be. However, they will have to have the buffers and everything that won't allow them to sit on top of the other MU2 property.
And
So
that-
it really
Currently,
wouldn't affect-
currently that backs
It's a-
up to their
it's raw
property.
land.
and
Right,
it's
right now, yes,
undeveloped
it's not developed
around
currently.
that.
Gotcha.
It's slated to be the 177 townhomes that True Homes is working
Correct.
on with the planning department.
What are you needing the public hearing date for? What date?
That's going to be, I'm requesting that to be set for May 14th, 2024 at 6 o'clock as well.
Okay, well, I didn't see it in here.
Have a motion to set a public hearing?
Make a motion, we set the public hearing for the
Accept
the rezoning of 603 Grove Street
Okay.
on May 14th at 6.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. All right, the next thing on the agenda is going to be the consideration of the agreement with Gaston County for Lowell Elementary Waterline extension. That's still going to be inside the city limits of Lowell, correct?
No, sir. So a little bit of background on this, and the county is here tonight with us and can answer maybe some additional questions. On the screen is showing where the Lowell Elementary School is, which is actually located in the town of McAdenville city limits. In the front of Riverview subdivision is where our main water line terminates at the moment. The county is using their American Recovery Plan Act, some of those funds to do some of these projects across the county. I believe Chapel Grove Elementary was another project they're working with Two Rivers on to extend city water down to that school that's currently on a well. This situation here for Lowell, it's currently fed by McAdenville, and the water quality, water pressure flow is pretty inferior to this school, so they're trying to I think, take the path of least resistance and extend our city main line down to serve this school. And I will call out that there was a change to the interlocal agreement I talked a couple with you about before this meeting in a section about, it was section 8, operation, maintenance, and extensions. Language was in there that specified that if this was in a school perhaps in the future that we would still serve it, or anybody from the connection point in McAdenville town limits we would be able to serve, and that has been struck out of this agreement because the intent of the county and the city of Lowell is just only to provide good, clean, reliable water to the school. We'll have another subsequent interlocal agreement with McAdenville scheduled for May council meeting, where we will have Lowell and McAdenville as a party to the agreement, basically because the town of McAdenville has to authorize the city of Lowell to supply water in its town limits when they have their own water enterprise fund. So that'll be coming in the May meeting. And Ray Maxwell is with us tonight, and he can maybe speak a little bit more about scheduling with the county commissioners for their approval if you all decide to go forward with this. And I'll take any other questions that you might have about this project and defer them to Ray if I don't have the answer.
Right now, we're billing them water, right? They pay us a water bill to the city of Lowell.
They're fed by McAdenville.
They pay us because we furnish the water to them. They wouldn't be paying us a bill if we didn't. You and I have had this discussion before, where you showed me on our lines, and also when the lady came in from the water department and made the statement, yes, we are billing them for water.
I'd have to have Lisa pull the account and see what is billed to McAdenville, if that's what you're saying, but what we have now in front of us is a school fed by McAdenville and being replaced with a Lowell water line. Do you have any other information on that, Ray, where they're getting services from now?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Ray Maxwell with Gaston County. So McAdenville did approach us because they're currently serving this school, and the line that serves this school is old and dilapidated and unreliable. So they did approach us first and request that we look at another way to serve the school, and that's when we approached the town of Lowell as far as serving this school from your existing system. The connection from your existing system is very short. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's only like 400 or 500 feet, and it's only across the school property. So because it is in McAdenville's city limits, we have an agreement here that is between Gaston County and Lowell that allows us to connect the school to your system. But as your manager was mentioning, there would be a separate agreement between McAdenville and Lowell to allow you to serve the school, which is in McAdenville's jurisdiction.
So what we're doing is the county is paying to put in these new water lines for Lowell to give the kids good water. Obviously, it's not good right now. And then, to your point, the school will then pay the city of Lowell for their water.
That is correct. We're just extending your system to the school to serve the school, and then Lowell will bill the school for monthly water service, and that will come to Lowell.
And then if there was never a school there, we would go back and not feed that property.
It would be terminated and a blow-off put in, just like any other termination line with a hydrant or.
This is water only, not sewer.
Correct, water only. And no cost to Lowell.
Correct.
Where does their sewer present go, Scott, in the school?
I believe it goes to McAdenville.
Yeah.
That's our system. It goes behind down there. It's it belongs to Lowell. But anyway, we don't want to lose the rights to that. You know, I don't about the county coming in and paying for the water line. That's well and good, but we don't give up any territorial rights for our sewer system because that's
I don't
a
know
big
that we
asset.
have any rights to that to begin with, but as this is in front of us right now, it is a request to access our city water, provide city water inside the accountable city limits, of which we will bill for, provide McAdenville City School or Lowell Elementary the proper water, and I don't think it's much of a discussion.
After the 2 years, did you read the agreement?
Yeah.
You know it's after 2 years.
Read the agreement. Who's got you read it, Scott? Read the agreement.
Hold on just a second.
I want to hear it.
No, so you didn't read it either?
No, I didn't read it.
Okay, you might better read it, because,
Because
and we're
I
not
know-
gonna ask Mr. Attaway to read it tonight, because we've all should have done read it.
If you're talking about a 2-year
But-
agreement down the road,
No, during this period time of 24 to 26, any monies made off of this goes to the Treasury Department because of this, the way I'm understanding, because Am I correct? Because this
You're
is
going to talk about the program
Sure,
income
sure.
piece.
Right.
So because,
So, I mean, because, and I was bringing it up because you hadn't said during that 2-year period. Apparently, some of council has not read that and seen that. So I wanted to make sure that they've understood that.
right,
And, sorry.
so if I could address that, so because we're using federal funds to extend this water line, there are some stipulations from U.S. Treasury that we have to abide by. One has to do with program income. And that requirement from Treasury says that you can't earn income from infrastructure that was put in place with Treasury dollars. What the county is doing through this agreement is that we are contributing some local funds, local county dollars toward this project too, that will offset that program income. And I can get into as much detail as you want about this, but basically what happens is when you build the school, say that bill's $100 a month, and the school pays Lowell that $100 per month, you have to account for that money separately and be able to show where that money went in case U.S. Treasury comes in and audits our project. Lowell will then submit records to the county on a quarterly basis that shows how much money came into Lowell from the school, and we have to go to our county commissioners and get the county commissioners to approve release of those funds. So you still get the money, it still goes into the Lowell accounts, but until we go to the commissioners and get approval for release of those funds, you can't spend that. Now, we will do that on a quarterly basis, and when the commissioners approve that, we'll notify the manager that those funds can be released, and then you can use them for whatever. But there just has to be an accounting trail so that if we're audited, we can show that the money was set aside and it didn't just disappear into a black box, but it was set aside, and we used funds that we're paying as kind of the local match, so to speak, to offset that income. So it's just a process that we have to go through to show where the funds went. Now, at the end of December of 2026, which is the end of the ARPA period of performance, at that point, moving forward, there's no need for you to reconcile with us because the federal grant period is over.
Right.
Let me ask you something. What's the need for us to replace this water line? What's wrong with the present water line? We're building to the school now. And
Again, it was in the
I'm talking about that,
agenda
but you
because it's
don't
corroded.
you don't have to prove this. I don't care if I read it or not. That's up to you.
It's corroded
But I think
and
we need to
causing
know.
poor water quality and water pressure.
To the
compromised
kids
to
of
the
this
school,
community.
to the school system.
No, I haven't had any complaints, but it's okay. You can approve this. It's up to you. Yes.
Yes,
I think
thank
So
we
we'll
need-
just get paid quarterly versus monthly.
And it's not about.
And I appreciate you bringing that up, Dwayne, I read it, but I.
We'll bill monthly, get paid monthly, but we hold those funds in basically a separate fund
Right.
account until the commissioners release the total, say 4 months, $100, $400, every quarter they'll release it. Same situation that you're dealing with the other school projects, I presume, in the city of Gastonia that's already approved an interlocal for that project. Is that
what
right?
you're
And just to be clear right now, being fed, Lowell Elementary is being fed from where?
McAdville,
And proposed is from where?
Lowell.
There you go.
Let me explain. Don't you explain to me, how's it being fed from the camel when it comes right down in front of your house where you rent, down to the school? That's where the water line is, our water line, not McCamel's water line. This is smoke and mirrors and a joke. And we wouldn't be collecting the water if it wasn't our water line. That's just common sense. But the whole deal is this. We don't want to give up no territory rights to no one as far as our possession, which is our water line and our sewer line.
This is not giving it up.
This
I
is putting
understand, but
water
I'm just saying, I want to
in
make sure that we do not give it up, because it does not belong to you or me, it belongs to the whole town.
And again, this is not giving it up.
Well, thank you.
Now, the other question I had about, it says the county has agreed to provide gap funds, which y'all are doing. Reminder of the cost of the project, set forth here. Y'all can cancel, alter, or the project if sufficient funding is not available. If that happens, I'm not saying it will, who's responsible for the rest of that?
So the county would provide the gap funds, but I have to have a disclaimer in there for legal reasons to say if for some reason the county went bankrupt or something like that, and we didn't have the money to cover it, then we could just say, we're not going to continue with the project. We won't move forward. So there's no impact to Lowell. We just
You're not
wouldn't.
gonna come to City of Lowell and say, let's find money. to
Correct,
fix
correct.
this." Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve interlocal agreement with Gaston County for Lowell Elementary Waterline Extension Project.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cobb, for being with him. I tell you, I might have heard from you, but it's okay. I tolerated him. Thank you. All right, let's go. Who's next? All right. Resolution to designate Chief Moore as official to make recommendations to the North Carolina ABC Control Commission. Who's got that? You got it?
Yeah, is just what it sounds like. So when we have, say, a new restaurant come into town and they file for an ABC permit, it typically always comes to the police chiefs in the jurisdiction, and it has been that way before here, and somewhere along the lines, the ABC Commission does not have everybody on file for the city of Lowell. So we're asking to kind of follow suit with the rest of municipalities and appointing chief of police as that designated official to approve. It still goes through the zoning and that check off in the list too, to make sure that that, say, restaurant is even allowed in this zoning district where they're wanting to locate, but the chief has that final signature on it.
All right, do we need a motion for that, or just a standard?
Yes, sir.
Need a motion to make Carl, let him be he can go to the ABC store and check around.
To approve that resolution.
You have a motion?
I make a motion to designate Chief Moore as the official to make recommendations to the NC ABC Board.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. The next thing is the City of Lowell Facade grant application review and approval. What you got on that, Scott?
Tyler's got this one.
Okay. Tyler, you're working hard on that, son.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see. So for the facade grant for the 2024 grant cycle, we received 10 applications. After reviewing and considering of all the applicants, we identified the following projects for funding, 3 of which are in our downtown location and 1 is on Highway 74. So we identified 4, 3 of them which are downtown, and 1 is on Highway 74. The first one is MEM Investments. They want to update and paint color to match neighboring buildings and repaint the facade in a total of $2,500. We have Vera Floyd Salon. They need a new front door purchased and installed at $1,170. Back of the Moon, improving paint and trim and molding to match connecting buildings, which is a number of $2,406.03. And the last one is York Properties. They just need a cleaning of the exterior of the building at $585. A grant total of $6,661.03, leaving a balance of $3,338.97 in FY24, and there will be no remaining cycles.
No more grants will be accepted after?
Yeah, the review and the grant application process is over, and we, like I said, we are just needing the approval for the 4 properties, MEM Investments, Vera Floyd Salon, Back of the Moon, and York Properties.
Hey, Councilman, we had 2 cycles. We opened in the fall for a cycle. We received 0 applicants, and then the spring cycle. And so that'll be it for this year. So there'll be a surplus.
There's always 2 cycles every year.
And this is the first year that we've kind of revamped the facade program a little bit. So this is the first time of doing these 2 cycles. But yeah.
Is it really 2 cycles? There's a bucket of money that when you go through the first cycle, I think if it's consumed during that cycle, there's not a second one.
You could.
You know what I'm saying?
You could.
We extended this because no one even applied. in the first go-round, so this go-round came.
And we had 10.
That's why, and people are taking advantage of it, which is great. Quick question for you though, are the guidelines very clear?
Yes, sir. So the
In other
guideline,
words, So you had an applicant that tried to go local and did not go outside of local, and therefore to get 3 bids, and then it was tossed with not a lot of time to react after the application was submitted. So I want to make sure that the rules are very clear up front, that everybody knows. If the applicant doesn't do it, you know, then
Yeah.
it wastes a
So
lot
we
of time.
we could bring that back to the Lowell Community Committee to kind of get them to study that with that in mind. After this agenda item, planning on updating them on where this went anyway. I think it is very clear. It's a pretty intense application, multiple pages. It's all spelled out in there, but if you all would like to maybe change those parameters a little bit about the number of bids, you know, if that's the case, trying to find more local in the city of Lowell perhaps, we can look at that and we can take it to the LCC.
The only question, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm not opposed to 3 bids. I think everybody's bid. I'm not against a percentage allowable for local vendors, i.e. I could be 5% high and still
Okay.
awarded kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
My question is, how do we determine how much one person gets? Because I see that obviously all this grant, all this money for them does not cover what they're asking to be done.
right.
So how do we
So
determine?
the maximum is $2,500.
Oh, okay.
They have to put in, it's dollar for dollar. So
Gotcha.
if the project's $5,000, we'll match up to 2,500 with them. If it's
Okay.
4, we'll
Oh.
give 2,000.
That was my question. I didn't realize, I didn't know there was a formula.
Gotcha.
Do we have a motion to do it?
Well, I have one more question. As it relates to, you know, like the back of the Moon property, which I
Okay.
think is great that they want to do this. But as the building ties into another building that is not leased, it doesn't seem that anybody wants to do anything with it, or the owner doesn't want to do anything with it. I wonder if, as much as I would like to, does the city match funds for that if it's not going to match the adjoining space that's right there?
But they just painted.
Yeah, so
The
that,
adjoining space had a code violation, and the former plan director and Tyler worked on that with them, and they had to replace some window panes and paint the window trim, and they painted all the molding around.
at the top.
So
And
we're
so that,
talking about the bank, the whole bank.
Yeah.
and so that's what Back of the Moon's wanting to do. They're wanting to match, they're
They
wanting
wanna
to
match
improve
what they
they
just
want to do the
did.
trim and the molding to match the entire,
Gotcha.
the whole building.
Gotcha. Okay.
Need a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve all 4 of these grants.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, the next thing is the 6F, resolution for approval of the interlocal agreement with Gaston County for enforcement services of the Gaston County Soil Erosion Sedimentation Control Ordinance and the interlocal agreement with Gaston County for enforcement service of the Gaston County Stormwater Ordinance. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to turn this over to Jamie Watkins, our stormwater administrator.
Okay. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Scott. Good evening, council, mayor. All right, so like you just said, we have before you 2 items, and they are resolutions to approve updates to the interlocal agreements that we have had in place with Gaston County since 2007. And so there is nothing substantiative that has changed in these documents. It is merely a clarification of the roles of both the city and the county as it pertains to permitting, plan review, stormwater control measures on active construction sites, sediment erosion and control measures on active construction sites. All right, so basically these are just our giving a formal permission for the county to, in our stead, go and perform plan review, permitting, and site inspections in regard to new development. And in exchange for that, they are allowed to collect any fees associated with plan review, permits, and fines if they find that a developer has violated best management practices. These do not cost us anything. They do not deprive us of being able to perform our own inspections. And they do not require the city to collect and hold any monies and then pass on to Gaston County. The county handles that end directly. All right, and so the reason that we need these is that there are certain requirements that one must meet to be able to perform soil erosion and sedimentation control inspections. You have to be delegated by the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. Additionally, some portions of these plan review activities require you to be a licensed professional engineer, and we simply do not have staff who meet those qualifications. And so that is why staff is requesting tonight the approval of both of these interlocal agreements.
I'll add, we do have Mr. Joseph Alm here from Gaston County Natural Resources. If there's any kind of in-depth questions, we asked him to come.
Anyone on the council have any questions? Do you have any questions, Scott?
I do not.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you for your presentation, and
Absolutely.
I guess made a motion to do this or not do it. What's the council's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with Gaston County for enforcement services of the Gaston County Soil Erosion and Sediment Control Ordinance, and for the interlocal agreement with Gaston County for enforcement services of the county stormwater ordinance.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed, unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Thank you for being here as well. Thank you. All right, the next thing we got is the city manager's report.
No, we've got 6G that we, I think.
That we added.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about it. Go ahead.
So we have 6G that we added, entitled Consideration to Amend the Planner Position from to a salary grade 17 from grade 20. After reviewing the ongoing salary study with the MAPS group, who is our consultant working on that salary study and personnel policy update currently that you all be presented with next Tuesday at the work session, the information that she found on Planner 1 salaries more fits a grade 17 from that of a grade 20. So it's essentially reducing the Planner grade by 3 levels. And this is a vacant position now that Tyler has taken the planning director position and been promoted to that. So before we went to advertise for this position, we wanted to make a change if it was going to be changed anyway, with a possible adoption of the new salary study come the May council meeting when it's actually voted on. Again, it will be presented, the results of her salary survey at the Tuesday council meeting, but wanted to go ahead and ask for this change to decrease that pay grade to more fit the market.
But we're getting closer to the budget, you know. We don't really, you've not hired anyone other than Tyler, right? There's no other employee in the zone other than Tyler, correct?
Correct.
I would just wait until we
This
have a
moment,
budget
yeah.
and then go into, you know, look at the whole budget process as far as how much money we're gonna be able to spend and what we really need. And,
Surely let the council discuss that if that's what you all would like to do, but that department is very busy with the development and code enforcement and zoning things that are going on. So trying to do this going forward and reduce it so it's less of a fiscal impact on the city.
I understand what the mayor's saying, and I appreciate that, but understanding where we're trying to facilitate this position, whether we move forward with filling that or not, doesn't matter. The pay grade needs to still be set. So I agree with moving that to a planner grade 17 versus a 20 in keeping that compensation in line with that position.
I agree with that as well, as long as we don't hire anyone that we have to get our budget.
We are just changing the position, the salary grade is what we're doing here.
We just don't want to slip them in and hire someone before we have a budget meeting. But that's okay. You're making a motion to do what?
I'm not making a motion, I'm making a comment.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thought you wanted to do something.
I would, if you're looking for a motion, I would make a motion to amend the planner position to salary grade 17 from grade 20.
Second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. All right. All right, that's good. Next item then is going to be the city manager report. Go ahead, Scott. Chair Wood motion, made the, no, it was, Bonham made the motion, Chair Wood second, unanimous. Thank you. City manager report.
Thank you. We received a draft brownfield agreement for the old dye plant, 1602 North Main Street, that is being reviewed and underway right now with our legal and environmental consultant and environmental attorney. So we can make comments on that and bring that to you all in the future. Budget work's underway, as the mayor just mentioned, emphasis on some other programs with this year's budget too, of making sure that this budget document, the final document, whenever that is approved, that it's got easy to read budget and brief documents to supplement that for our citizens to be able to get navigating around the budget and learning about it. Preparations for the work session Tuesday that I mentioned are underway, and I had sent out an email that would like to try to meet with you all with the engineering consultant at Harold Rankin Park at noon before that meeting on Tuesday. I've heard back from 4 of you, so if I haven't heard from you, please let me know if you'll be able to attend that meeting. As it looks right now, we're scheduled to be there to kind of go over the whole process of the Part F grant and the LWCF grants that we received for the Harold Rankin Park phased project out there. Also, a pavement inventory analysis map is almost complete thanks to our GIS analysts, Todd and Thomas. They've been doing that in-house to save the city money, and we'll bring that to you all in the future so you can prioritize some of the PAL bill fund balance on some paving projects. Public Works Director interviews are underway, and related to that, the CDBGI, the infrastructure, which was for sewer line repair and rehab in certain geography of Lowell, we had tried to add the Lynn Street pump station work into that, and the state denied that. We had a meeting this morning, actually, about how to try to utilize the remaining grant funds, approximately $800,000 in remaining grant funds. We're looking at slip lining more pipe out there. We're looking at some manhole rehabilitation. We have done a AIA sewer mapping grant through, or project through a grant that we received a few years ago, and our GIS person is taking those layers and finding all the manholes. There's probably 50, 60 manholes in this geography at least, and they're all at least ranked as like some level of importance for I&I issues, inflow and infiltration of rainwater into the sewer system. So looking at maybe developing some sort of a scope of a project to line all those, or spray line those manholes. That'll help with our ongoing I&I battles. Police Department, they have a sergeant hiring panel they're putting together, and some written exams beginning this week. And then back to Public Works. The CIP and the water rate studies are ongoing and coming to an end. You'll be hearing from our consultant on Tuesday at the work session about those. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Attorney?
Nothing to say.
Thank you, Scott.
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Chilwood? Mr. Smith?
I had a meeting with the YMCA about, stuff over here at the Boys Club. It went okay. I believe they're gonna come to our meeting Tuesday to explain some of their costs and which route we want to go with that. And that's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Bonnet? Only thing I've got to bring up tonight, I want to bring up that we haven't adopted the audit this year from the previous council that's never been approved. That needs to be done. And also, this council, when we got elected, we expressed that we wanted to have, when we talked earlier in the previous meetings about having an overall forensic audit for the city of Lowell. But nothing has taken place, so I'd like to have it put on the agenda for our next meeting, to have it on the agenda to vote it up or down to either have the audit or not have the audit. But I strongly recommend that we do have a forensic audit just because, just like today, when I got this stuff from Mr. Adway, we got this deal where we signed with Trifecta on August the 14th of 23 for $949,000, and by November, we'd already spent over right at $900 and some thousand. So y'all knew then that you were going to be going over budget. And as it went into the next year, they spent all this money, $1,987,000 as up to date. Now, let me explain something to you, Scott. I'm not stupid. You got two statements on here for August the 15th. September the 15th, excuse me. You got two on here, one for $34,000 exact amounts, and I want to be on record. $34,748, another one for $196,000, and on the very same day, you have two more, and you got to have, here's your check numbers, $34,748, another $196,000. This don't add up, and we need to have invoices to show this.
I'd be happy to sit down with you and we can go through
It ain't
that.
not sitting down, but it's just mind-boggling to see that, someone had to authorize these checks and pay the same amount twice on the same day. Maybe we got some money coming back.
We didn't pay double for anything.
Right
But
here it is.
again, I'll be happy to sit with you and
pass
go
it down
through
to
these
them.
by the invoice.
Would you like to look at it? This is yours, this is what you gave me, I didn't
Sure.
create this.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'll be glad to sit down with you, but in the interim, we need to have an audit. And I want to put on the agenda, if it's okay with the council, that's the only time we can do it, unless you want to vote on it tonight. But I'd rather Shane be here and have a full council, but we do need a forensic audit to know where every penny has been spent. But anyway, and if you want to vote, that's fine, but I just ask you to put it on the agenda.
I have a question.
Go
Given
ahead.
that we have a third-party audit anyway, so you are disputing the third-party audit that we already paid for, and you're saying you want another audit.
Explain to me the third party, what's the third party?
We pay a third-party
We
company
pay Butler and Stowe.
who is not an employee of the state or the city of
One.
Lowell. We're paying them, they're a third party, to conduct an audit. And this is what they do for a living, to municipalities forever. And they don't find anything wrong, but you think there's something wrong, so you want to pay another audit to come back and tell you there's nothing wrong. If there were red flags somewhere, I'd be, okay, yeah, sure, let's go for it. Let's pay some tax dollars. There aren't any. So outside of what you believe to be true, or what you want to believe to be true,
You want to look at this?
Butler Stowe doesn't say anything. The audit before that didn't say anything. The audit before that didn't say anything. Back. We don't have any red flags anywhere. And all of a sudden, you want to use terms like forensic audit and write checks for something. If there's something real and there's something out there that we need to know that the attorney's covering up and the manager's doing, we have all this conspiracy and $2 million underneath City Hall, unless there's something there, why are we spending money going through this?
My question, just like I explained to you earlier, that, when you're paying the same amount on the same day, the same amount twice.
And the city manager said, I'd be happy to sit down and explain
That's
that to
nothing
you.
to do with that, I'm talking about that's.
You'd rather pay somebody else to come in and say there's nothing wrong than listen to the city manager when he's offering you an explanation. To me, it's ridiculous. You're wasting the city council's time on this, you're wasting staff time on this, and taxpayer money on this.
I think
If
it's-
there's an issue, there's an issue. If there's not, there's not. Obviously, there's not.
That's in your opinion, and you have your opinion, you have a right to vote yes or no. But I'm just asking the council
It's
to put it on
no.
the agenda. But do we need a motion to put it on the agenda, or can you just put it on the agenda, Scott?
So the rules of procedure state that that the mayor, any councilman can ask to add an item to the agenda.
Would you
You
be,
do not need a motion to add something.
just add that to the agenda then for our next meeting?
I think what you're maybe trying to do is straw poll the council to see if they would like to even consider any of
If I need a
this.
motion to have, to call for an audit,
Okay.
if you're gonna put it on the agenda, that's good, let them vote on it. I'd rather have the full council here to do that. And I'm not asking for a straw poll, I just wanna I wanna have it done, because I see imminent. but that's just my opinion. You have your opinion, I respect your opinion, but you damn well don't respect mine. But anyway, we're going to,
Mayor, I appreciate that cussing.
that ain't cussing, sir, it's just the truth.
Well,
But
sorry.
anyway,
You can control it.
okay, Reverend. Anyway, what we'll do next then is, that's gonna be on the agenda for May, correct?
What would you like on the agenda?
To call for a forensic audit for the city of Lowell dating back to 2010 to the present day.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
No offense. You want to audit an audit.
That's not auditing all, it's auditing.
That's
all of our
exactly what
business.
it is.
It's auditing all the transactions, all the contracts. That's what a forensic audit is.
How much you think that's gonna cost the citizens of Lowell?
I don't know. Well, Randall did, I think it's like $30,000.
And you're willing to spend $30,000 to audit an
Whatever,
audit?
listen, whatever it takes.
With no red flags, and by the way, let's throw in this other caveat. I want every hour of every employee that spends any minute documented on time spent on putting the information together for, in addition to whatever the auditor comes into. How much time we're wasting, this. There are no red flags. There's nothing here to suggest that anything's spent the wrong way. You want it because you want it.
I want it because
And
we're
that's
paying
fine.
too much for taxes and too much for.
That's fine, you want it.
I want to
You
know
write
where
it, you
the,
stroke the check.
I want to know where the
But
money is.
no,
that's all.
this, you know where it is.
I don't
It's
know.
right there in our audit, as it is every year. You're auditing an audit.
Why do you want to argue with me when I'm asking for a forensic audit? It's going to take council vote, not Larry vote. It's going to take your vote. It's not up to me.
It's the why. It's the why are you stirring a pot? There's nothing to stir.
You can't ask why in the real world about nothing. Someone passes away, you can't say why. You say, Lord, thank you for taking them. I hope it's going to be okay.
Start the tally. Just count it up. Let's see how much this is going to cost us.
Okay, it's going to be on the agenda for the council to vote it up or down, correct, Scott? That's all I want. I'm not asking for a straw poll. And, let's see, what else do I have? Hold on, I think I had something. I'm gonna let the rest of it go, but I appreciate all of you being here, and I appreciate your interest, because you should ask questions. We all should ask questions. I don't find nothing wrong with that. But thank all of you being here, and I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
Look, Bates, you left in?
Yeah, ask him to
No,
speak.
he asked.
Yeah, he went first.
Yeah, before he went around. Appreciate
But
it.
thank all of you being here, all of you. And thank you, and have a good night, and I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.